All right. Hey everybody, this is Ninja Man 3231. I'm here today with another Marvel versus Capcom Team Theories video. Today I'm going to kind of briefly go over each character's strengths and weaknesses from the character select screen. I think going over it briefly is good because there are pretty much strategy videos on every single one of these characters. And I think that if I briefly go over each one before I get into the rest of the plan for this type of videos, it'll kind of give us a better idea of what kind of character we're dealing with and where they belong on a team. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe and check out other videos related to Marvel vs. Capcom to kind of see where my theories apply. And if you have any criticisms or things that you would like to see in the video or for me to talk about, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to do that. So we're going to start on the Capcom side. And one of the major things about a lot of the Capcom characters is that they all need an assist to do something. There may be only two characters out of the whole Capcom roster that can fly. And a lot of them only have assists that are really good in certain situations. Mainly Capcom characters assist hit at angles, and their straightforward assists don't really have a lot of impact or leeway in regards to initiating offense, in my opinion, and from what I've seen. For instance, so we'll start with Jill. Jill is a DLC character, and how she fits into the whole team dynamic is she's a very good support character. Ideally, she's a point character. However, her supers have a lot of support benefits. Namely, if you alpha combo into a super, you can get out of situations. If you're getting pressed for time or you're getting pressed for offense, you could definitely alpha counter and use Jill's super to get out of the way. A lot of her moves are good. She does have some invincible moves, but generally she's mainly a support character. So I would put her second. I wouldn't try to put her first because her combos are kind of limited, especially from super jump height. Once she hits S and you're in the Airborne series, it's pretty limited in what you can do, and there's another character in this game that can help her combo off of those OTGs from super jump height. So she will be a second slot. No way is she ever going to be an anchor in high competitive play unless somehow you get lucky. Not a good win percentage. We got Nemesis. He can be a point character, but the problem is he's so big that he can get rushed down by a lot of the smaller characters. Plus, he doesn't have Hulk's privilege of the round start standing H 2-hit armor move to kind of really just get a free hit. And it's not necessarily free, like there are characters that can bypass that, but you mainly have to run away from Hulk in the beginning, but we'll get to that later. As far as Nemesis is concerned, he does have that kind of move, but it's a command input, it's not a single button. So that fraction of a second does matter. He can be an X-Factor character, but mainly he's a support character because he falls into the batteries spot of a team. He could definitely do mix-ups and incoming resets and unblockables if the situation demands, but for mid-screen, you have to do air resets against characters that don't have a double jump, and you're pretty much in reset territory with Nemesis. My advice on playing Nemesis is to know his moves, know when to use them, and understand his weaknesses. Obviously, his height and his ability to not really initiate his offense like Hulk can. We'll straight down the list. So we got Chris Redfield. He's a great point character, and he doesn't have any flight capabilities, but he does have a lot of projectiles, and a lot of the projectiles in this game do pave through a lot of assists. You could kind of zone with Chris, which is a great idea, and his combos are pretty good. Like if you're able to initiate offense off of a physical hit, I would do so because his damage is really good. Plus he meshes well with a lot of teams. Ideally, he's not a good X-Factor character, but he fits in a lot of teams where his tools support everyone else. but I wouldn't use him as a rushdown character. It's just his movement's not fast enough. He doesn't have enough frame advantage, and a lot of his moves have gaps that need to be covered by assists. So Chris is a great point and support character, but terrible anchor. If you get lucky, you can use him as an anchor, but a lot of his supers are great for hyper combos. They don't use any, well, one uses a ground bounce, but you can still do great damage if you use it mid-combo in his long TOD combos. So, point and support, second slot. Wesker, for a lot of Marvel's competitive history, was always a point character, and then he was a anchor character. There are people who still use Wesker as an anchor character, and there are people who use him as a point character. He doesn't have many battery slot options, but he does have supers that can help take the lead in situations. So keep him on the point, but understand he's got a big weakness in comparison to a lot of the other characters. You could use him as an anchor if you want, because he has a great assist. That OTG gun is great, especially for unblockables, depending on the type of team you have. But generally, Wesker's a great point character, so on the surface, he should only be a point. Try not to use him as anchor, because everyone knows what he's going to do on an anchor slot. Morgan is by far one of the best point characters, and I won't say that often for a lot of these characters in the Capcom slot, but generally what she has and what she's capable of, she can do a lot of things by herself. She can't hit confirm from super jump height. She doesn't need to. Really, she just needs to set things up on the ground, so that way your character doesn't know what's going on when they land, when they're trying to escape her barrage of bullets or her, zoning. I'm going to call it zoning. It is pretty cheap. There are things around it, but you really have to do a high risk, high reward method of attack to really get your offense against her when she gets her game going. Not a good anchor. Have never really seen an anchor Morgan do a lot, unless someone just has a character that can't escape her. She's a great battery, use up all the meter, but honestly, she's a great zoning and keep away character. And her assists aren't bad either. She's all around a not bad character, just understanding her best. And we all know Christie and his Mordoom Virgil team, they definitely have changed the way the tier list works in this game, and it's very hard to beat that team. Felicia's a point character. I've never seen a anchor Felicia do well against any of the top teams that we'll talk about later in the series, but generally, all of her options are designed for a point character. She does have meter capability, and she does have a great level 3, but in comparison to all the cheaper things in this game, just keep her as a point character. God forbid that you're stuck with her as an anchor, because if you're against any of these other good teams, using her is going to be a very great struggle. And honestly, I would even have 2 strong characters in your rotation of characters that can use the X Factor before she gets it, because it'll be a waste if she does. Point character only. If you are a specialist with this character, use her as a battery or anchor. But for all the competitive people, just keep her as a point character. But your skills and knowledge of this game will get you very far. But there are some cheap things that will just hold Felicia in place. Hashinko is a support character. I've never seen a point Hashinko win a tournament ever since Marvel came out. Fate of Two Worlds, all the way to the golden age of Marvel. I've never seen a point Hashinko. She's too slow. But her support is great. And she's got a random factor with one of her assists. And honestly, if you want to be Mr. Random in the tournament and kind of get lucky, use her for that assist. Most people use her for a golden armor special and then tag her out for her special assist. It's pretty much an invincible assist, but she does take damage, so just be mindful. But it's very good. But she is only a support character. She belongs only in the second slot. If you put Hashinko in the third spot, you might as well just forget it, because if your team gets steamrolled by any of these special teams or these elite teams, you might as well just put the controller down and say, good game. Hager. Hager is a point character, but I've seen people use Hager as an anchor character. Obviously, there are situations where Hager does lose to characters that can zone, but Hager is very sneaky, and your knowledge as a Marvel vs. Capcom player using him pays dividends in your ability to win with him. He's got a lot of moves. He has Lariat, and a lot of his moves have different hit properties on counter hit, allowing you to link different attacks that normally wouldn't work on normal hit. So Hager is a very good point character and an anchor. Battery character, but yeah, there's a team in here that Can Blue River used to use that, yeah, it works very well. Team Big Body, everyone knows it. Spencer's a great point. He's everything. Most competitive teams have Spencer on that team because he's got great combos, he can touch of death, and he synergizes well with pretty much every character in this game. Obviously, you can pair him with a good beam assist or a projectile assist like Arthur if you want to do a Capcom solo team, or C Viper. Well, her attacks are mainly physical, but mainly Spencer's a great point character, battery, and anchor because of the amount of damage he does. That 80k, the up grapple, it does unscaled 80k every time. It doesn't matter how many combos or how many hits are in that series from another character. You tag him in, do 80k, it will do 80k every time. So he's kind of cheap mechanic for damage, but he's an all-around great character. You can never go wrong picking him so long as you don't try to just use him as an anchor. Tron. There's only one team I've seen work with Tron, and it was Abigail, if I remember correctly. Abigail used Tron, She-Hulk, and Rocket Raccoon, and it worked because no one had seen it before. But as he became more known, people started to catch on to the flaws of that team. And really, I wouldn't say it's a gimmick. It loses to Morgan, Doom Virgil, and it loses to Zero May Cry, and any other rushdown team that really steamrolls him, because it's a very random team, but Tron is so large that she can get hit by pretty much anything. Like Nemesis issue, doesn't really have anything that wins in the beginning of the round, and you really have to know what you're doing with this character because the recovery on her moves are just terrible. But if you get lucky, she's fun. She's got an assist that was good, but they nerfed that when they got this game Ultimate out, and she just kind of fell off from there. So the only saving grace Tron has was Abigail. So let's move on. Zero, fantastic point and battery character. He is one of the better characters in this game. He's not the best. He's just one of the better characters in this game once you know how to use him. Again, with him and Morgan, the skill gap is going to be your execution. If you don't know how to do a lot of the Zero stuff by now, then you're losing your chance of winning tournaments, because picking him is you're paying your bets very high. Like, for sure, if you know what you're doing with this character, you're going to win. Just keep it simple, adapt to the teams that you fight against, and you will win with Zero and his compatriots. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Zero May Cry is the only fully Capcom team that steamrolls pretty much everybody. I don't think there's a solo Marvel team that completely ambushes everybody, aside from a team that we'll talk about when Marvel gets there. So Zero's great character, terrible anchor. On rare circumstances has he been an anchor, but his moves are so fast, and the technicality for a lot of his moves change when he goes to X Factor level 3. So unless you really know what this character is doing and you're technically savvy with him, having him in the third slot could be a golden ticket. And it would throw people off because, like, what's Zero doing back there? What's he going to do? Is he just using him for an assist? No, that's my backup plan because I know this character better than every other character. Theoretically, like, he's probably the only character I could say I've never seen any real X Factor level 3 tech. And if someone started using Zero as an anchor, just know that you're probably dealing with somebody who knows what they're doing in this game. Arthur, in the early stages of Fate of Two Worlds, Arthur was used as a point character, but he's mainly an assist character. You can use him as an anchor because he's got some infinites and block string infinites that a lot of characters can't get out of. And his chip damage with armor and X Factor level 3 using that lance, I mean, you can't escape it if you don't have X Factor to mitigate that chip damage. So second and anchor, don't use him as a point character because his mobility is just, stricken. He can't do much unless you know some gimmicks. Firebrand is a point character. He does have anchor character abilities. I've rarely seen people use him as a battery because his assists are mainly physical. He does have the OTG assist, but it's so slow. I mean, you'd have to call it before you do a move with the character. And by the time you call it, your skill would need to be at its peak to know how to use it correctly. So point anchor is where Firebrand belongs. Strider Hiryu is definitely an anchor character. He can be used as a point character. I've seen people use him plenty of times as point characters, but I haven't seen a solo Strider team win with him as the point. Usually people win with Strider as an anchor because he's got the satellite level 3, that's what I'm going to call it, and he's really fast in X Factor. The only issue is his damage is lacking, and his moves and his combos are technical with no real reward other than you get your hit on your person. If you were to play him on a Phoenix team, it would be a bad idea. I mean, he doesn't even have enough health to last long enough for you to get Phoenix going, but we'll talk about that later. So, point anchor, not really a battery character. His hyper supers aren't really that good. Frank Rust, Apology Man used him for a while as a point character just to our level 5 Frank. But at the same time, Apology Man's team changed a lot throughout the seasons when he was really active. He went from using Frank as point to then using Firebrand as point once his technique got better. Then he switched out Frank West for Dr. Doom for the TAC infinites, but he always kept Super Scroll there. The game plan with that team was to hit with Frank or Super Scroll. Super Scroll would do his level 1, get a bunch of hits, and then you would waste a meter to get Frank to level 5, continue that combo with Tenderizer, and now your opponent's got to deal with level 5 Frank. He's definitely a point character. He could be used as a battery, but I wouldn't use Frank West as an anchor character. Unless you have level 5 Frank, him as an anchor is not good. Ryu is a battery character. Like, you could use him on point. There are some people who've used him as a point character, but he can't initiate offense without an assist like Morgan or Zero can. Spencer kind of can, but in regards to Ryu, he is a battery character in the purest form. Just have him come in, get the damage, and tag him out, because you want to keep the lead if you have all three of your team. So battery, don't ever use him as an anchor unless you're just that good. Chun-Li is a battery character and a point character. Ryan LV uses her as an anchor because, to be honest, there's a lot of tech that's unexplored with Chun-Li. But if you watch a lot of his videos and other videos from another channel, haven't got permission to say their name yet. There's a guy who uses Chun-Li as a point character, and then when that Phoenix character dies, Chun-Li will be used as the anchor because she's so fast. And there's so many things you have to look for if you're not aware of what she can do. So I would keep her as a battery, honestly. But she's a good point if you can keep her around. Akuma, because of his health, is not a point character. Akuma is an anchor character, and he is one of the more infamous anchors next to Spencer, because he does an absurd amount of damage. He can combo pretty much off of any hit. There are some rare situations where you can confirm off a super jump height. It's like very rare, but I'm not that technically skilled. If you want to look at videos for comboing for super jump height with Akuma, you can go find those. They're out there. It's been long enough. They're out there for sure. Definitely an anchor character. Could use him as a battery, but keep him as an anchor, considering that you have two strong point and battery characters. Sea Viper. Whew. Sea Viper is a point and battery character. I've seen people come back with her, but she's so technical. You have to know what you're doing in X Factor level 3 to really use her abilities. She could do infinites in level 3, and she also has great zoning capabilities as a point character. She is one of the characters that can make Morgan Doom Virgil look really bad and prevent Morgan from ever starting her fireball shenanigans, because Sea Viper has the Seismo cancel. And what this is essentially you're doing for people who know, you're doing the Seismo motion with a diagonal input, so that way you can cancel right into another one repeatedly. So pretty much you're having mini volcanoes or mini seismos on the screen every time, and you can do that as long as you want. And if you're skilled, you can call an assist in between that, so that way you can protect yourself every time to really stop Morgan from doing her shenanigans. If you were proficient in using Sea Viper, she is one of the answers to defeating the Morgan Doom bullet hell, because she stops Morgan from getting on the ground to use Astral Vision, so that way she can get her offense initiated. Of course, you still have to deal with the assist from that person, but ideally, you could keep Morgan from touching the ground, so that way she doesn't get a chance to use Astral Vision long enough for you to do enough damage, and for the opponent to take a risk in using either Virgil or Dr. Doom and risking their assist being damaged. You want them to bleed when you use Sea Viper. I would use Sea Viper as that point character, because she does have an answer to Morgan Doom, but it's very difficult to perform. If you had Sea Viper and another character together, you could probably protect yourself. So Sea Viper, point, mid, secondary, battery, whatever you want to call it. Low chance of anchor slot. Her assists are also pretty good for our alpha counters because they have invincibility during that stage. Generally, I've rarely seen it, but it's a good card to have in your arsenal. Amaterasu. I've seen people win tournaments with Amaterasu as a point character. I've also seen it in the early stages of Marvel. People win with Amaterasu as an anchor character. She has plenty of assists that support a team. And honestly, she's a great battery character. Now in this stage of Marvel, we are in the Bronze Age, I would say. And I'm going in reverse order, because the Golden Age of Marvel was when Marvel was at its peak. Everyone tuned in to tournaments. It didn't matter when the tournament or who the tournament was being hosted by. Everyone was getting at least 100,000 views. 5 digits, you name it. Golden Age of Marvel. She was a great character. And now we're in the Bronze Age. Marvel has put her at a secondary slot. There are some specialists, but I haven't seen them win a tournament against a lot of the solidified teams. So definite good battery. Be a specialist if you're going to point. Put her on point. Beautiful Joe. I haven't seen this character in tournaments for years. And he's one of those dead characters. I mean, if you want to put him with some of the other Capcom characters to have fun, if you're a specialist, go ahead. He's got some great things as an anchor. I mean, a battery. There was one tournament player that used Beautiful Joe, and he did the one that did the boomerang spam, but that quickly got defeated by Morgan's bullet hell. It is what it is. A Beautiful Joe is a fun character. He's got some very specific tech things that work very well. If by chance you use him, hint hint, in the right team, you can really disrupt Morgan Doom Virgil and Zero May Cry. I would put him on a team specifically if I was going up against a team, but unfortunately we have blind picks, and that sucks in tournaments. And for those who don't know, a blind pick is you have to pick a team not to counter. You have to tell a third party what team you're going to pick, and they have to pick that team. Now, if you're a known player who's playing a team and you're going against somebody, then that person could counterpick you if you just have one team. But if you're going against somebody who doesn't know who you are, there's no reason to really blind pick. Most people blind pick professional players because they're like, hey, I'm going to play this team. The pro player is more than likely going to pick their special team, the team that they're used to. That person's going to counterpick them. Beautiful Joe is one of those characters. He's a very good counterpick character. He has a lot of things that stop a lot of stuff and give you a chance to initiate your offense. So unfortunately, he doesn't really have a place anywhere but the battery spot. But unfortunately, I wish I could see this character more. He is one of my favorite characters. I've loved Beautiful Joe ever since I played the games. You know, Beautiful Joe 1, 2, Red Hot Rumble, you name it. He's just an iconic Capcom character, and it's sad that he's not relevant like he was. But great battery. Trish. Trish is a great point character. She's good at playing keep away. That's keeping an opponent away from you. She's got enough health to last a long time, but a lot of her offense is great with other characters. She does have battery efficient special moves, so her super's high voltage does a lot of damage, and her round trip super is probably the most beneficial team super if you want to use her, because it locks the opponent down and you can do mix-ups on the opponent. You could use it against Morgan do Virgil, but if you don't get that first hit, then having Trish on that team is probably high risk, low reward if you want to really look at it. I tell you what, the song is taking me for a ride. Jesus. All right. So, great point and battery character, but just know what you're doing with her. She can kind of, I think in X Factor level 3, she may have a super jump hit confirm, but her hit stun is so high. You're better off using her with a team of another character that we'll talk about in the next video, mainly the Marvel side. Point and battery, Trish. Dante is a very good battery and anchor character. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Dante's not a good anchor character. He's a great point character, but with how the game is now, using him as a point character is very difficult, because landing the hit with Dante, unless you have good assist, it's very difficult. You could land a hit, you're going to have to take a risk against Morgan Doom Virgil, because Morgan can run away from him, and then now she's got her offense started with Astral Vision. Dante has, obviously he has all his special moves, and they work in tandem to other characters. I've yet to see a Point Dante use one of his special moves and then hard tag into a character and combo off of it. It's possible, given the move you use. and the hit stun on that move. Like, Dante has moves where you can use Hagen Wesker, and Wesker can continue the combo so long as there's not a lot of hit stun. Just get Dante to land the hit, Hagen Wesker, or character just got a OTG move, and you're pretty much golden. He's a great point, battery, and anchor for a last resort, but his lack of high damage, even in Devil Trigger, X Factor level 3, is a problem. So if you want to use like him as a DHC for his transformation super, great. But just be wary, his damage is not high. And you got to use only the highest damaging moves with Dante in X Factor level 3 to really make a difference or a comeback. Point, battery, iffy anchor, Dante. Virgil. Man. Virgil has crushed a lot of souls in this game. And he's one of the cheap ones. He's a very cheap character. Virgil, I've seen people use Virgil on point. I've also seen people use Virgil as an anchor. But I've rarely seen people use Virgil solely as a battery. He is, by design, a battery character because all of his special moves and everything are designed to get the team moving forward as you initiate your offense. But we all know Virgil as one of the greatest anchors in this game. One of the greatest anchors in this game, because X Factor level 3 Virgil on incoming is probably the most dangerous 50-50 character you will ever encounter when playing this game. Everyone's done it. Everyone's been hit by it. Even the pros get hit by him. They don't know which way to block when he comes in with X Factor level 3 Devil Trigger. It's crazy. It's degenerate. Helen Breaker. That uppercut move, and then it's just smooth sailing from there. He's honestly good in any slot. You want to steamroll a team? Helen Breaker, X Factor, run the gauntlet on a team. His damage is high. His specials are good. His combos are simple enough to do high damage. I mean, why pick Dante when you can just pick him? I've yet to see him be a solo point character, but there's some tech in him that I haven't seen in tournament that can really shut down a lot of characters. So he's honestly just a very good character. All slots, Virgil. Last but not least, the gimmick character himself, Phoenix Wright. This character, when he gets turnabout mode, I mean, he is the most random character ever. Now, we know what he's going to do, and we know what his game plan is when he comes into the game. If someone picks Phoenix Wright, you already know what's to come. So people get rid of him quick. Gathers evidence. He hits you with the guilty. That's it. Objection. That's what it is. He hits you with objection. That's it. He's honestly a really good battery character, though. But he's a gimmick character. I think there's a guy named I Heart Justice who really knows how to use him. And Phoenix Wright in turnabout mode, one of the best characters in the game. I have yet to see turnabout mode and Virgil on the same team. But if you had Phoenix Wright, Dr. Doom, and Virgil, or Phoenix May Cry, then I can see it working. You just need to trade out your anchor slot. You'd have to switch between Phoenix Wright and Virgil. Phoenix Wright's got some normals that are good on paper, but in practice, against some of the high-level teams, they fall short. And honestly, he's a great anchor if you get turnabout mode. If you can find a way to get him into turnabout mode with the team that you have fun. I don't know that he actually does stop Morgan Doom Virgil in turnabout mode. In fact, if you get turnabout mode with Phoenix Wright and you tag him out, none of whatever assist that you use with him, none of Morgan can't get her stuff started. Just keep using him as an assist and keep pressuring them and use him as an assist. It's not going to be possible for them to start their offense, because getting that late in mid game, I mean, it just sets you up for success with Phoenix Wright. But problem is, it's Phoenix Wright. He's a gimmick character. You're going to get pretty lucky getting turnabout mode nowadays, especially in the age that Marvel is in. So Phoenix Wright, point, anchor, turnabout mode only. Could use him as a battery. So that wraps up the Capcom side so far. Let me know what you think. I'm open to criticism. This is the best I can do for right now, what I have, but I'm working towards getting more platforms and tools to really make this something that I'd like to pour more effort into. I really love Marvel, and I'd like to get into each character and each little detail about every character. But of course, I got things I got to do, and this is more of a labor of love. I'm not doing this for any specific reason other than I love this game. And I just want to put my thoughts out there for every character for as long as I played this game before I can't play it anymore. So take care, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.